Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me well. The reason most people never become who they were created to be is because they spend their entire lives trying to impress people who don't even care. You've been too busy scrolling, comparing, gossiping, and worrying about who's watching you instead of making sure your work is worth watching. The world loves to celebrate success, but what most people don't realize is that success is never born in the spotlight. It is cultivated in the unseen hours, in the moments of solitude, in the relentless grind that happens long before anyone takes notice. The victories people applaud are merely the final manifestation of a process that took place in private, where discipline was forged and habits were refined. It is in these hidden moments that true greatness is built, not in the fleeting flashes of public recognition. When you see someone excelling in their craft, whether in business, sports, or personal development, what you are witnessing is the result of years of unseen effort. You are not seeing the early mornings when they chose to work while everyone else was sleeping. You are not seeing the countless hours of practice, the failures they endured, or the sacrifices they made. The applause and admiration come only after they have proven themselves in the silence through perseverance and through their unwavering commitment to improvement. Most people crave the rewards of success, but few are willing to pay the price that success demands. They want the praise without the process. They want the outcome without the effort. But the reality is you cannot cheat the process. You cannot skip the quiet grind and expect to stand on a stage of greatness. The world may not see the work you put in today, but that does not mean it is wasted. Every moment spent learning, refining, and pushing forward in private is a step closer to becoming the person capable of handling success when it arrives. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who remain stuck is not talent or luck. It is the willingness to work when no one is watching. It is the discipline to show up every single day, not because of recognition, but because of a deep internal commitment to excellence. Success is not about impressing others. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. And that transformation happens behind the scenes, in the quiet, when there is no audience, no validation, just you and your mission. The reason so many people fail to reach their full potential is that they are too focused on being seen rather than becoming great. They want quick results, instant recognition, and constant reassurance that they are on the right track. But success does not operate on your timeline, nor does it cater to your need for approval. It rewards those who are willing to trust the process, who understand that the most important work they will ever do is done when no one else is looking. Every major achievement in history was preceded by a season of preparation. A season where the individual had to work in obscurity before they ever emerged into the light. The great athletes, the masterful entrepreneurs, the world-changing leaders, none of them arrived at their success by accident. They all spent years, sometimes decades, perfecting their craft in silence before the world ever knew their name. They were willing to embrace the hidden work because they understood that it was necessary for the greatness they were destined for. If you are unwilling to grind in private, you will never be ready for success in public. What you do in the unseen moments matters far more than what you do when others are watching. The private work is what builds confidence, sharpens skills, and develops the resilience needed to withstand challenges. When the time comes for your moment of recognition, it is not the crowd that determines whether you succeed or fail. It is the years of unseen preparation that decide the outcome. So if you truly desire success, stop focusing on who is watching, who is noticing, and who is applauding. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is what you are doing behind closed doors. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the pain, the discipline. These are the ingredients of true success, because at the end of the day, success is not something you stumble into. It is something you build brick by brick in private, long before the world ever sees the results. Too many people spend their lives chasing approval, constantly looking for validation from others before they take action. They hesitate, waiting for permission to pursue their dreams, afraid to make a move unless someone applauds them first. But the truth is, the people you are seeking approval from are often too consumed with their own lives to care about yours. And even if they do acknowledge you, their approval adds nothing to your skill set, your discipline, or your results. It is an empty pursuit, a distraction from what really matters: mastery. Mastery is not built on the opinions of others. It is built on repetition, on discipline, on doing the same thing over and over again until excellence is no longer an option, but a standard. Those who seek approval are focused on looking good in the moment, while those who seek mastery are focused on becoming great for a lifetime. Approval chasers crave recognition at every step, but masters understand that recognition is a byproduct of skill, not a goal in itself. They work when no one is clapping, they refine their craft in silence, and they pursue growth relentlessly, regardless of who is watching. The danger of seeking approval is that it places your self-worth and confidence in the hands of others. When people praise you, you feel motivated. When they ignore you, you feel discouraged. This cycle keeps you trapped, dependent on external validation rather than internal conviction. Mastery, on the other hand, is an internal game. It requires you to be self-motivated, to push forward even when no one is cheering you on. The greatest achievers in history did not wait for approval. They acted with certainty, knowing that true validation comes from results, not opinions. The pursuit of mastery demands that you focus on the process, not the perception. Most people want to look successful before they actually become successful, so they chase superficial markers of achievement, titles, awards, social media recognition. But mastery is not about appearing successful, it is about actually being excellent at what you do. A true master would rather be underestimated and prepared than overhyped and unskilled. They would rather put in the work than put on a show. They understand that true respect is earned through performance, not popularity. Seeking approval weakens your ability to take risks because it makes you fearful of failure. When you care too much about what people think, you hesitate, you overthink, and you second guess yourself. But mastery is built through failure. It is built through trial and error, through mistakes, through setbacks that force you to grow. The most skilled individuals in any field are those who have failed the most, who have learned from every misstep, and who have kept pushing forward even when no one believed in them. Masters are not afraid of looking bad in the short term because they are committed to being great in the long term. The pursuit of approval will always keep you in a box, limited by what others expect of you. It makes you play small, avoid risks, and stay within the boundaries of what is acceptable. But mastery demands that you break out of that box, that you push past limitations, that you explore new ideas, and challenge yourself in ways that most people never will. Mastery is uncomfortable. It forces you to grow beyond what feels easy. It requires sacrifice, long nights, endless practice, and an unshakable commitment to progress. The world does not reward those who beg for attention. It rewards those who deliver undeniable value. When you seek mastery, you do not need to chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. People start coming to you because you have built something real, something rare, something valuable. The demand for your work increases not because you marketed yourself the loudest, but because you became the best at what you do. This is the power of mastery. It speaks for itself. If you continue to live for approval, you will always be at the mercy of other people's opinions. But if you commit to mastery, you will gain control over your own destiny. Masters do not ask for permission to be great. They simply put in the work, refine their skills, and let their results do the talking. The choice is yours. Spend your life waiting for someone to validate you, or dedicate your life to becoming exceptional at what you do. Success is not an accident, nor is it a matter of luck. It is a direct result of discipline and consistency, two forces that separate those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. Consistency is the commitment to keep doing it day after day, no matter what. When these two principles work together, they create an unstoppable momentum that leads to undeniable success. Those who master discipline and consistency do not rely on motivation because they understand that motivation is temporary, but habits built through discipline last a lifetime. The problem with most people is that they only work when they feel inspired. They put in effort when it is convenient, when the mood is right, or when they see immediate results. But real success does not cater to emotions or convenience. It requires showing up and putting in the work even when you are tired, even when progress seems slow, even when no one is watching. Discipline forces you to move forward despite discomfort. And consistency ensures that those small, seemingly insignificant efforts compound into extraordinary results over time. Every successful person in any field follows the same formula. They decide what they want, they create a plan, and then they execute that plan with relentless consistency. There is no magic trick, no secret shortcut, just daily commitment to improvement. Whether it is an athlete training, a business person building an empire, or an artist perfecting their craft, the story is always the same. Those who win are those who stay disciplined and refuse to quit. They are not necessarily the most talented, the most gifted, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who stayed in the game long enough to master it. Discipline and consistency are difficult because they require sacrifice. They demand that you push through boredom, fatigue, and doubt. They require you to say no to distractions, to cut off anything that does not align with your goals, and to hold yourself accountable even when no one else does. The reason most people never reach their potential is that they lack the patience to be consistent. They start strong, but as soon as the process becomes difficult or the results are not immediate, they slow down, make excuses, or quit altogether. But success is never a single moment. It is a long-term process, a result of years of dedication and effort. The power of consistency is that small actions repeated over time lead to massive transformations. If you discipline yourself to read for an hour a day, in 1 year, you will have consumed more knowledge than most people do in a lifetime. If you consistently train your body, your health and strength will drastically improve. If you work on your business every single day, it will eventually grow beyond what you ever imagined. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of small, consistent efforts. They want instant success, but true success is earned through patience, endurance, and an unwavering commitment to the process. Discipline also strengthens your mindset. It teaches you to push past resistance, to override excuses, and to take full control of your actions. The more disciplined you become, the less you rely on feelings and the more you rely on habits. A disciplined person does not wait for inspiration, they create it. They do not look for motivation. They develop systems that ensure progress regardless of how they feel. Success is not about working hard once in a while. It is about showing up every single day, putting in the effort, and refusing to accept anything less than excellence. The truth is, most people will never see success because they are inconsistent. They work hard for a few days and then take a break. They start strong but lack the discipline to finish. They allow distractions to pull them away from their goals, and they justify their inconsistency with excuses. But the ones who break through, the ones who make an impact, are the ones who keep going no matter what. They wake up early, they train when they are tired, they study when they do not feel like it, and they push through every obstacle with unwavering determination. Success is not reserved for the lucky. It is not something that only happens to a chosen few. It is available to anyone who is willing to pay the price, and that price is discipline and consistency. There will be days when you feel like quitting. There will be moments when progress seems invisible. But if you can master the art of showing up, of doing the work every single day, no matter how you feel, you will reach a level of success that is undeniable. The greatest enemy of success is not a lack of talent, resources, or opportunity. It is distraction. Every day you are bombarded with noise, opinions, temptations, and endless sources of entertainment designed to pull your focus away from what truly matters. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones with the most advantages. They are the ones who have mastered the art of shutting out distractions and locking in on their mission. They understand that focus is a superpower, and those who learn to control their attention control their destiny. Distractions come in many forms. Some are obvious, like social media, television, and gossip. Others are more subtle, but just as dangerous. Procrastination disguised as planning, self-doubt that keeps you second-guessing every move, or unnecessary obligations that drain your time and energy. Most people do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they never truly focus. They allow their energy to be scattered in 100 different directions, and as a result, they never gain momentum in any one area. Your mind is a battlefield, and every day you must fight to protect your focus. The world is full of distractions that seem harmless at first, but slowly steal your potential. Every minute wasted on meaningless activities is a minute taken away from your purpose. Success does not come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things with total concentration. The most successful people in any field are not those who do the most. They are the ones who do the most important things consistently, without allowing distractions to slow them down. Focus is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. If you constantly allow yourself to be distracted, you will always be stuck at the starting line, never making real progress. Distractions create delays, and delays turn into years of unrealized potential. When you commit to eliminating distractions, you create space for productivity, creativity, and deep work that moves you forward. You become intentional about how you spend your time, and as a result, you start seeing real results instead of wasted potential. One of the hardest truths to accept is that distractions often come from the people closest to you. Friends, family, and colleagues may not understand your vision, and they may unknowingly pull you away from your mission. Not everyone will support your focus, and that is why you must be strong enough to protect it. If you want to achieve greatness, you must be willing to set boundaries, to say no to anything that does not align with your purpose, and to create an environment that fosters concentration and growth. The ability to focus is rare because it requires discipline. It means turning off the notifications, logging out of the distractions, and prioritizing deep, meaningful work over instant gratification. It means becoming comfortable with solitude, with long hours of effort that no one else sees or applauds. It means training your mind to resist temptation, to delay pleasure in favor of long-term success, and to stay committed to your goals even when the world around you is filled with noise. When you silence your distractions, something incredible happens. You start to see opportunities that were always there but hidden behind the noise. You begin to think more clearly, act more decisively, and move with a sense of purpose that most people lack. Your results begin to compound, and before you know it, you have built something significant while everyone else is still wasting time. The world rewards those who can master their focus, because focus leads to mastery, and mastery leads to success. Your mission is too important to be sacrificed for distractions. Every time you allow yourself to be pulled away from your purpose, you are delaying your progress, your success, and the impact you are meant to make. If you truly want to reach your highest potential, you must guard your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Most people are obsessed with being seen, getting recognition, and receiving applause before they have even done the real work. They chase attention, thinking that visibility equals success, but they fail to realize that attention without substance is temporary. True success does not come from how many people are watching. It comes from how well you execute the process. The daily grind, the discipline, the learning, the failures, and the growth is what builds real, lasting success. Attention may come and go, but the skills and character developed through the process will carry you further than any spotlight ever could. The problem with chasing attention is that it makes people focus on perception rather than progress. They want to look successful before they actually become successful. They spend more time curating an image than developing their craft. They measure their worth by likes, comments, and followers instead of by results, mastery, and impact. But the people who achieve real greatness are not the ones who chase validation. They are the ones who dedicate themselves to the work, knowing that the process is what creates the outcomes that truly matter. The process is where everything happens. It is where discipline is built, where skills are sharpened, where knowledge is gained, and where resilience is developed. The process is the long hours spent learning, the early mornings grinding, the nights refining your craft while everyone else is distracted. It is the countless failures that teach you valuable lessons, the setbacks that force you to grow, and the sacrifices that shape you into the person capable of handling real. Without the process, any attention you receive is empty because you have nothing real to back it up. Many people want the rewards without the effort. They want the title without the training, the results without the work, and the success without the struggle. But success is never given. It is earned through the process. The athletes who dominate their sport, the entrepreneurs who build thriving businesses, the artists who create timeless masterpieces, all of them went through years of unseen effort before they ever received recognition. They did not chase attention, they chased excellence. And as a result, attention eventually chased them. The process matters more than attention, because attention does not sustain success. Discipline and consistency do. If you gain attention before you have mastered your craft, it will expose your weaknesses instead of highlighting your strengths. This is why so many people rise quickly and fall even faster. They focus on being seen rather than being prepared. They rush to the spotlight without being ready for the responsibility that comes with it. But those who honor the process, who put in the work even when no one is watching, build a foundation so strong that when success arrives, they are ready to sustain it. Focusing on the process also keeps you grounded. When your goal is to improve rather than impress, you become immune to distractions and external opinions. You stop worrying about who is watching, who is clapping, and who is paying attention. Instead, you focus on getting better every single day. The world is full of people who once had attention but lost it because they never mastered their craft. But those who commit to the process continue to grow, evolve, and create value regardless of whether anyone is watching or not. The irony is that the people who are most focused on the process often end up getting the most attention anyway, but by the time the world notices them, they no longer care about validation, they care about impact. They have built something real, something that lasts, something that does not depend on the approval of others. Their success is not based on hype, but on actual results. They did not rush the journey, they embraced it, and because of that, they stand strong while others fade away. The choice is simple: chase attention and risk being forgotten, or commit to the process and build something that lasts. The work you put in today, in the quiet, in the unseen moments, is what will determine the level of success you experience in the future. Those who chase attention never last, but those who embrace the process create legacies that can never be ignored. There comes a time when you must step away from the noise, the distractions, and the need to be seen. Too many people waste their energy trying to prove themselves before they have even built anything worth proving. They announce every move, share every plan, and look for validation before they have done the real work. But the truth is, growth happens in silence. Mastery is built in the unseen hours. The most powerful transformations take place when no one is watching. If you truly want to elevate your life, you must be willing to disappear for a season and dedicate yourself fully to your craft, your goals, and your mission. Most people are afraid to go silent because they crave constant validation. They feel the need to be seen making progress rather than actually making progress. But real success does not require an audience. It requires discipline, focus, and relentless effort behind the scenes. The people who accomplish the most are the ones who understand that their energy is best spent working, not talking. They withdraw from unnecessary attention, limit distractions, and commit to a level of consistency that most people are unwilling to maintain. They do not seek applause because they know that in time, their results will speak louder than any words ever could. Disappearing for a season is about shutting out the noise and getting serious about your growth. It is about using the quiet moments to refine your skills, expand your knowledge, and execute without interruption. It means cutting off anything that does not serve your higher purpose, whether that is excessive socializing, meaningless entertainment, or even relationships that drain your focus. The process of becoming great is not glamorous. It is lonely, it is repetitive, and it is filled with moments where you question whether the effort is worth it. But those who push through the discomfort are the ones who emerge transformed. Most people never reach their full potential because they are too busy trying to be seen instead of putting in the work. They seek recognition before results, and that mindset keeps them stuck in mediocrity. The real winners, however, understand that silence is a weapon. They embrace the grind in solitude, knowing that every hour invested in their growth is preparing them for a moment where their results will be undeniable. When you focus solely on progress, without worrying about how others perceive you, you gain an advantage that few people have: the ability to stay locked in until the job is done. Growth requires separation. If you want to elevate to a new level, you must be willing to leave behind the version of yourself that was comfortable, distracted, and inconsistent. This means disappearing, not in the sense of running away from responsibility, but in the sense of removing yourself from anything that hinders your focus. It means dedicating yourself to becoming better, stronger, and more skilled without feeling the need to broadcast every step. When you resurface, you will not need to explain what you have been doing. Your results will make it clear. Discipline is forged in seasons of solitude. The most successful people in the world have all had periods where they disappeared, locked in on their goals, and reemerged as completely different individuals. They were not worried about being overlooked because they knew that once their work was complete, they would no longer need to seek attention. Opportunities would come to them. The ability to delay validation and commit to the long game is what separates those who win from those who settle. When you disappear and dedicate yourself to your mission, something powerful happens. You begin to build momentum. You start seeing improvements in your skills, confidence, and results. You stop caring about opinions, distractions, and temporary recognition. You become laser focused on what truly matters, and that focus gives you an edge that most people will never experience. The ones who truly succeed in life are not the ones who constantly announce their plans. They are the ones who execute relentlessly in silence. One day, when the work is done and the results are undeniable, you will not have to say a word. The people who doubted you, overlooked you, or questioned your commitment will have no choice but to acknowledge what you have built. Your results will speak so loudly that they will drown out any doubt, any criticism, and any past failures. But that level of success is only possible if you are willing to step away, put in the work, and trust the process.